Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Kokomo Bobkast. My name is Drew Larison from Kokomo Post Sports. With me today, we've got Coach Cliff, and we've got a new guy to the team, Mr. Devin Harris. Fellas, how are we?
I'm great. I'm feeling a lot better now. I'm rested up, and it was a tough week. Just say getting ready.
Busy week, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3 games again the last weekend, which is tough. I understand that. We ended up winning 2 out of 3, though. So some improvements are happening on the team. I like to see that.
Well, yeah, we had to change some personnel, bring in some new guys, and Devin was one of our new guys we brought in, and it was just the change of chemistry. And we talked about it before. Chemistry matters in everything. If you don't have the chemistry, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and that was the main thing we talked about last week, is just vibing together as a team, and it's not just relationally better, but on the court it gets a lot better too. So quickly, just some Kokomo basketball news. Congratulations, Kokomo High School, on making it to the semi-state for the 4A this year. Congrats, guys. Great season. You guys are legends in Kokomo, as well as that team. I'd call them legends.
Oh yeah. I'm going to make sure you mention Kokomo IU.
Oh, IUK, absolutely. Okay. They made it to the Sweet 16 as well, the NAIA tournament. Yeah, so great basketball going on in Kokomo right now. And actually, this comes out on Tuesdays. We're filming on a Monday. There's some great basketball going to be happening on Tuesday night this week, too. So Bonavista, awesome local nonprofit here in Kokomo, they have a charity basketball game that they do every year. I played on it for the first time last year, and I'm back at it tomorrow night, playing again. And we got a good coach. So what it is they're all stars, and that's the people from Bonavista against who they call like the local celebrities in Kokomo. And I'm on that team, and Coach Cliff is going to be our coach.
Yes,
tomorrow night.
He's your coach.
So I need all the tips. What do you got for me? Well, I mean, how are we gonna get this win?
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, you never stop coaching.
Don't shoot.
Don't shoot the ball.
Don't shoot, no.
He's your coach.
He's the coach. Yeah. I know. This
Good luck.
Should be interesting. No, but it should be fun. If you're watching this early on Tuesday, come to Bonavista or to Carver. The game's at Carver.
It's going to be Memorial.
Oh, it's at Memorial Gym?
You get to play on the big floor.
I didn't know that. I thought it was at Carver again.
Showtime.
That's a good thing we did the show, because I definitely would have showed up at Carver if I didn't do that. See, he's coaching me already.
Then I would have had to find him.
Yes, he had to send me a fine. Yeah, no, that should be fun. Great, fundraiser for Bonavista. But all right, so let's get into the games that we had last week, which we started against the Medora Timberjacks, which we've played them before. First time didn't go well, if I remember right. We lost the first time we played them, right?
We lost the first time, uh-huh.
This one we walked away with a 98-81 win. So a sizable victory for the Bobkats. Larry Plummer, our guy who was on the episode last week, he walked away with the leading score with 19 points, 8 for 12, 3 rebounds, and 2 assists. Great game. Duck had 15 points. He went 6 for 10, 2 rebounds, 0 assists. And then Allen, the Ace, is that his nickname? Ace, right? Ace Arnett with 14 points. He went 5 for 15 with 16 boards in that game. So great.
That's one thing. He's basically been our anchor. We know what we're going to get from him every night. And when he's not into it, like when we played Kentucky, I kind of felt he was at a fog because of the travel, the mental drain of that back-to-back games, and he knew he had to come play another game on. So he was like a little off. So I was hoping other guys stepped up and put guys in position to step up. And we played a pretty good game.
Yeah, and it happened. 17-point wins. That was good to see, especially, like I said, against a team that we had previously lost to. So it was good to get that win.
And then also in that game, our point guard, his first game, he went in for a layup, got fouled, slid and hit his head on the wall.
Is this? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, he hit his head on the wall. So we didn't have him from 3/4 of the game. Yeah. First quarter, he just started getting rolling, got us going. That's what got the momentum going. When he came in the game, he changed momentum and got us going. But when he hit his head, then everything started happening. He didn't eat that day because he's running around trying to get legal with the league,
gotcha.
With the pitchers and the contract.
Sure, yeah,
so he was running around all day. So he didn't get a chance to eat. So not only was he foggy-headed there, He hadn't eaten, so he was
Literally hit his head.
dehydrated,
Yeah.
a little nauseated. So he was done. But one thing I did respect and saw that most people don't think I see everything, but I see a lot of things going on. He was coaching on the bench. He was helping Larry understand and see things out there on the floor.
Yeah.
And those things don't go unnoticed with me.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about basketball, too. I mean, it is a true team sport, so you have Devin, who hits his head on the wall, has to sit out the rest of the game. But then you got Larry coming in, and then he becomes the top scorer for that game. So,
Exactly.
It's such that next man up mentality. And that's something I've seen through last season was always that. Yeah. We always had that next man up, or whether it's just a simple substitution, we've always got a guy coming in ready to go.
Well, like I said, he saw that we had an advantage at the point guard position of attacking their point guard. He kept telling Larry, be aggressive, go at him. He can't stop you, he can't stay in front of you. Whereas if you don't have anyone understanding that, it's hard to tell your point guard, you got this guy. Especially when you're playing against him, you're going against him, when you're playing against a guy, if he's afraid of you, if he's not afraid of you, if he's trying to challenge you, or he's just faking, putting a facade up. You know it. So, and he saw that and recognized it with Larry, and he told Larry, go at him. When Larry started going at him, he didn't have nothing left.
Well, and all due respect to Coach, hearing that from a teammate sometimes makes all the world's a difference than hearing it from a coach too. So what you were saying, getting coached from the bench, that's a big deal. So that's a good teammate. Your first game, you're already fitting into that leadership role. So that's good to see. Well,
you know what, and I say it all the time. I let the players police and handle themselves because I can only say so much before they drown me out. It's like anything else. Your parents can talk, wah, 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 and that's all you hear. But someone say the same thing, you hear it loud and clear. So it's like I let the guys handle each other and help each other grow as a team. The more they do things, the less things I have to worry about handling it.
Yeah. No, so that was a good to get a win. Good to get a win for the Bobcats in that game. In the next game, nobody has stats for. Kentucky didn't have their stuff together apparently, but we did lose to the Kentucky Enforcers. That was 128 to 116. I don't have much to talk about without those stats, but tell us what happened.
It was just a perfect storm with everything going on, from the lines not being on the floor to us missing 2 pairs of shorts and guys may not play in the game because you're not full uniform to Fudge getting hurt, dislocating his shoulder. It was just so many things going on that night. It was just, we could not.
Is it a full moon or something like that? Just seems like everything went wrong.
It really was, because we got to the hotel and Malk said, "Oh, it's a full moon." He says, "I pay attention to it. It really was." Now that you say that,
wow. When I say everything was out of whack. And
what they say, everything that can go wrong did go wrong.
It
did. Yeah, right when we were in the thick of things, then all of a sudden something happened and it just blew it back out. Like, let's just make sure we get ready for the next game.
Well, one thing I guess to talk about on that game is Fudge. So his second injury of the year. This one, he's going to be good. He just dislocated his shoulder, right? So he'll be back soon?
Oh, yeah. He'll probably be back by the weekend. It's just sore.
It's just sore.
When it popped out, it popped back in. It did no damage, nothing. It just hurt a little bit. So he just have to see how much pain he can deal with.
Gotcha.
But people forget that he was a rodeo guy. When you're a cowboy, you got all kinds of things happen to you all the time. You can't get up and keep going
those bulls, they'll toss you everywhere, which is so funny. So the Kokomo Post, we did this last year too, just some really fun videos with the guys to show your guys' personality basically to everybody. And Fudge, being a rodeo guy, we learned he can lasso a rope. So we have a video plan where we want Fudge to go around and lasso random things around Kokomo.
Oh my God.
And we were planning on filming that this week, but then it hurt his shoulder, so we'll have to film that another day.
He's got videos. He really does that, though.
Oh, I know.
He showed me and Blake videos on his phone.
We were talking, what did we say? We want you to do that. He's like, yeah, that's easy. I can do that. What about that one? He's like, yeah, easy. I can rope that one, too. He's confident, which I like. Oh, yeah. So that's good to hear. He'll be back soon. Similar to his first injury.
Yes.
Nothing crazy. He'll be back soon. So then let's talk about yesterday, which, my goodness, it felt good to be back in that gym. Bobkats basketball happened yesterday at Memorial Gym, the first home game of the season. We've got 8 more home games in a row now. So that's great, coming up Friday and Saturday this weekend, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But we went up against the KW Titans, which is one of those Canadian teams that we had played previously in the year too. Lost that game, and this was an entertaining game. I had fun.
Well,
I wasn't on the court, but I had
fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
Well, this game, after we lost the game up in Canada, I couldn't sleep well. I was always when we have a loss, I have a tough time of trying to figure out what is it that I did not do to give us a chance to win the game. So I analyzed it and I turned it over and turned it over. All week long, I was thinking about Medora and Canada. I'd never seen Kentucky.
Yeah.
So I was just thinking about those two, and I was trying to figure out what can I do to help our team do that, to get the win. So with Medora, I figured it out. We have to attack their guards. Then with the KW team, I'm looking at Ferguson and Kendrick.
Mm-hmm.
Ferguson, we have to get him tired. We got to run him.
He had a heck of a game yesterday.
We had to run him. With Kendrick, we got to make him take tough shots. Those are the two guys that's going to definitely can hurt you. So we got to make sure those two guys work. I wasn't really too worried about everybody else, but I knew those two guys, I had to make sure I had to work them. And then on offensive rebounding, I had to make sure my bigs blocked out further away from the basket.
Because they have some bigs. They've got some big guys on their team. How tall is number 7? Do you know?
He is
7'2". Yeah, I was going to say.
7'2".
Yeah, he was big guy.
Our guys haven't faced guys like that. And trying to get them to understand, you're not going to shoot over him. Mm-hmm. No way. You have to put, with a shot blocker, you got to hit his body first, knock him off balance to get your shot off. And once you do that, that's when you start gaining some momentum on them, and then that's when you get them in foul trouble. Then they don't want to block the shots. But he had 10 blocks last night.
He's a big guy. So let's go down quick stats. Devin, you were leading scorer yesterday with 24 points. You went 8 for 14, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Ace, I'm not calling him Allen anymore. He's Ace to me. Yeah, he had 20 points yesterday, went 7 for 11 with 12 rebounds, so he walked away with a double-double. And then Mike had 15 points and went 5 for 9 with 1 rebound and 1 assist. I'll just say all of them. Mike. Duck had 12 points. He went 4 for 14 with 6 rebounds, 1 assist. And then Devin Anderson had 6 points, 3 for 8, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist. And this was a battle of a game. You guys were... It was aggressive, and it was great to see because this is the first game I've seen in person all year, so it was great to see that. But, I mean, I kept thinking, and I've been talking about it all weekend, how horrible the refs were at that Kokomo High School semi-state game. But they were calling every little foul for every little thing. And then the next game I watch is the Bobkats game. And I'm like, how was Kokomo calling all these fouls? And then I'm here watching the Bobkats, and it's 10 times as aggressive. But it was a really tough game. It went back and forth. Honestly, it was perfect for March Madness, the timing that we're in right now, because there's so many great college games going on right now. Mm-hmm. Same vibe. They would go up, we'd go up, they'd go up, and it was always super close. Nobody, I think probably the biggest lead they had, 7 or 9.
Yeah, it didn't even reach double digits.
Yeah, it was never anything crazy.
They were 9 and we were 7.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But they held the lead the longest. They held the lead for 25 minutes of the game.
Yeah.
So it was, like I said, but one thing I really, really liked about our team is how when we really didn't have nothing left. I mean, we really was drained. Mm-hmm. And it was
another weekend with 3 games in a weekend.
Yes,
yeah.
And then we found a way to muster up that energy to finish at the end. And I contribute that to our fans. Our fans gave us that extra adrenaline to finish it, because they could have easily ran off with this game because they were sitting in Kokomo while we were playing and driving home. Mm-hmm. They were resting in the bed, and we got home like at 1:30 in the morning. So
from Kentucky.
Yeah. So they were ready for us, and that was the most impressive part about how we played. We played with poise, we played with character, and we played with determination. When you have those things going on your side, it makes it a lot easier to coach, a lot more fun to coach, because you see the guys really want this bad. Mm-hmm. So with me, if they want it bad, I want it just as bad as they want it.
Sure.
So I'm going to give them everything I got, and they gave me everything they had. and we left it all on the court last night.
So tell me, you hinted at it a little bit, how important it was, but what did it feel like for you to be back in Memorial Gym, having that home crowd, the drum line was there, the Bobcat dance team is here this year, so we had that going on, which might be a distraction for some of the players, I'm not going to lie. But, I mean, so what was it like being back in Memorial Gym?
You know what, though? That was I was looking forward to it, and I didn't feel like we were really going to be ready. I thought we were going to disappoint them because the 3 games and 3 nights was going to be a bear on.
And KW's a great team. They're a great team.
Really good.
You know, they have their athletes. Like I said, their operating budget is probably 3 times ours, so they can afford to go get guys that with the high dollars. Where we're working with guys on a lower scale, and we're competing with them, and we're playing with them. You know, we're hanging right there with them. So, being in Memorial last night, I just did not want to let down our fans.
Sure.
With a blowout, or you know, or
even a close loss would have hurt.
well, just an ugly game, game. So a close game wouldn't hurt. It's just an ugly game, a game where we really wasn't lethargic and we really didn't give our effort. But like I said, once we got going, the guys was in it, and I got into it because they got into it. And then when they got into it, the fans got into it. So it was a lifting thing, and it was just so refreshing to come home and knowing that we're playing for something, and it was for the fans in the city, and it was like, oh, man,
well, it's just this big release too, because you guys have been on the road for 7 games, and to finally come home and to get a win like that. Just take a deep breath, right?
It was an exhale moment. It was waiting to exhale.
So we were talking a little bit before we started recording. You had been hyped up because this was your first game at home. So, I mean, people hyped up what it's like playing in Memorial Gym.
All week long.
Did it live up to the hype? What did you think about playing?
Most definitely. It started off, they were fouling in, and I'm like, oh, they're still coming. Like, you know, you go to layup line, you lay it up, and you got to go to the other side, and I'm facing the door. I'm like, oh. And I went outside. I left my undershirt outside in my teammate's car. So I went outside to get it, and I could kind of see through the little hallway. And the line was like wrapped around the building. And I was like, oh. And then, mind you, there were already people still inside. And as the line's wrapped around, I'm like, oh, they're still coming. And then
it was a Sunday game, which is usually lower attendance for weekend games.
Yeah, I think we had close to 1,000.
Yeah, and it was loud.
It was loud.
It was like 2,000.
Yeah. What's max capacity? Because you have a dream of like 6,000 is the max. I can't imagine the sound with 6,000.
If we get 6 in there, my ears might.
I know. I'll bring these headphones.
With all hand signals for plays. All hand signals.
No, it was a great atmosphere. It was. It felt like home, which literally it felt like, because we got back to it. The fans were there. We were crazy. The drum line was there. What I was saying, it just felt like last year did, and it was great.
It was one of those pick me up moments, and all I can think was, you know, playing the game and just imagining us really making a break. I thought we were going to do in the fourth quarter, I thought we was going to break it open even bigger. And I kept telling guys, they're ready to quit. But the Canadian team had a lot of fight in them. Most other teams would have folded at the time. Yeah. Because we put a lot of pressure. We had a lot of pressure on those guys. Yeah. But they held weathered our storm of coming at them, but it just wasn't enough for them.
So we had an awkward moment during the game yesterday that you didn't realize it was me until today. So the number 12, Joel Kindred, on the other team, talking the whole time. Chirping. And just chirping. And there was one moment he was, I forget who it was. He was calling one of our players trash. Straight just calling him trash. And then that same player comes down and blocks one of his shots.
Yeah, it was on Malcolm.
It was Malcolm, that's right. So then he comes back and our bench is just going at him. And I yell at something out like, number 12, who's trash now? And you were on the bench and you turn around like, what did I do? I'm like, no, the other number 12, the other number 12.
I was like, I could have sworn on the home side. I was like, I'm on home side, right?
I wasn't yelling at you. I was yelling at the Kindred guy, because he was talking from the beginning. He had like a few good plays right off the bat the first quarter, and he immediately started talking to our bench.
Well, you know, I got a chance to scout them early. I went to, they played up in Warsaw against Lebanon, and I watched him, and he struck me as a different kind of player. I mean, he's one of those players that catch your attention because he was doing things to Lebanon I'm like, boy, this is a special dude. We got to face him. I got to make sure I'm ready for him and get my guys ready for him. But him and Ferguson, I just like the way they play, their style of play. They know what they want to do and how they're going to get it done. They understand how to play the game. And when you get guys who understand the game is just wide open for him. And it was like a highway to him. Once he gets going, it's hard to stop him, and he knows it. And so he was trying to chirp to get those guys to pump him up, start talking back to him, and then he's going to go to another level.
Yeah, so Ferguson ended the game with 27 points, 9 for 20, 13 boards, and 3 assists. So he had a double-double. And Trash Man is what I'm going to call him now. Joel Kindred, he finished the game with 23 points, 6 for 20 with 3 boards and 2 assists. So, yeah, great game. Great to be back in Memorial Gym. I love that. I got some good news.
What's the good news?
There's only 2 games this weekend. There's not a 3-game weekend. So that's good. You guys can take relax a little bit on Sunday. Actually take a Sabbath on Sunday, so that's good to see.
Go to church.
Yeah, on the 25th, we play Owensboro Thoroughbreds, which we played them last year. I haven't played them this year, right?
No, we haven't played them.
The first time playing them this year. They were a team we played last year. And then on Saturday, we have Toledo, Glass City. Both of those games, like I said, are home. Yeah. So come to Memorial Gym on Friday and Saturday night. Support the Bobkats. It's going to be a good time. Do you know anything about these teams, or what are you expecting?
Well, Owensboro, I kind of know what to expect from Owensboro. They got Eves back, Javion Eves back, and they have their point guard. I'm trying to think of his name. He's a little crafty point guard. But like I've been saying, I want a big point guard to punish these little point guards who think they got it going on and they can go downhill on everybody. And when you got a bigger point guard that can do just what they do, but punish them, that slows them down when they're coming at you. And he's going to have his hands full this weekend. But they do play a great game. They play a lot of team basketball, which is hard to beat when you got guys moving the ball, opposed to guys who just catch the ball and everybody's isolation one-on-ones. That's easy basketball to guard. Sure. But when you're moving the ball from side to side, it's harder to guard, and that's what they do. They play a lot like us.
And what about Toledo?
Toledo, I have no clue how they coach, how they play, their style, nothing. Everything is going to be the first time we play everybody like these new teams. I don't know nothing about it.
Yeah, and they don't know much about us either. So
right, just like Indiana All-Stars know nothing really about how they coach and how they do that. But like I said, that's the best part about coaching is the first time I see you, I'm picking you. I'm picking up things what you do, your tendencies. After I see what you do, I'll have you.
You're on you. Yeah. I'm a Michigan fan, so anybody from Ohio, I don't think they're really great at anything. So, all right. So that's, like I said, Friday and Saturday night. Owensboro on Friday, Toledo on Saturday. Both home games. Get your tickets. KokomoBobkats.com. Come support the guys on Friday and Saturday night. So, Devin, let's talk a little bit about you. Like I said, you came in not at the beginning of the season. You're new here, but obviously you're not new to basketball. So tell us, what's your career been like? What do you think of Kokomo so far?
My name is Devin, once again, from Tampa, Florida. I'm happy to be here. Love it here. It's been welcoming since I got here. As far as my career, I've been to Finland. It was my first year, as we talked about a little bit before. Mm-hmm. After Finland, I went to Vietnam. I left Vietnam, went to Colombia, which is actually where I played Kindred, or Trash Man.
Trash Man.
But that's where I first met
hope
him.
He watches this. Can we send this to him in some sort of way?
And it's funny we say that he's actually my friend. Like, we met in Colombia, talking because we kind of got,
Yeah, because you can chirp too. You can chirp with the best of them as well.
I have to quiet it down. Coach getting on, but that's my problem. I do like to chirp. I like to chirp because it gets me going. Like you say, Coach, it gets you to another level. Yeah. If I tell people all the time, I say, you talk, I'm gonna talk back, but I'm gonna get the last laugh. Yeah. I say that all the time. I'm gonna get the last laugh.
There was a moment too we were talking about before we started filming. You were like shooting big free throws. I think you got fouled. We were up 2, so we were going to go up 4 if you would have hit both of them. Mm-hmm. But like the music was playing, and somebody on the sidelines caught you like bobbing your head to the music. So like you were into it yesterday, and I love that. I mean, I remember that last year. We got to know all the guys pretty well, but like what I love seeing is when you guys are not only just being aggressive and playing good basketball, but you're having fun. Mm-hmm. Like you're enjoying the crowd, you're having fun out there, and playing well. As a fan, nothing's better than that. Like entertaining.
We feed off of each other, and I try to, when I come in the game, I just try to bring that energy, and I'm letting Plum, and I'm like, you got to take advantage of this stuff, man. Yeah. Like you say with your career, I've been to places where even if you're home, you've got 2 people in the stands, or you've got one over there, you've got security guard over here. Like,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
all you got clapping. Like, we got 1,000 people there. You got to take advantage of this. Like,
well, that's what you were saying too. Like they were trying to hype it up to the new guys what a home game's really like. So I mean, they know. I mean, there's few things in this league better than Memorial Gym. That's for sure.
And we signed Ace from
Indy Express, yeah.
and then also Mike Tillman who played in the Express.
Yeah.
And one thing he said, man, when we came here, it was tough to win in this gym. They make it hard for you. The fans are all over you, and they're loud. So he said,
very loud.
He said, when you get a win out here, you appreciate it.
Yeah. It's a big deal. Yeah, which is good because, like I said, the next 8 games are home games. So we had that awful away stretch at the beginning of the season, but we're home now for 8 games, and I'm looking forward to it.
It's always greater later.
Yeah. So tell us, what do you think about the city of Kokomo? I know you've been traveling quite a bit since you got here, but have you been able to go around and see anything with any of the guys?
I've been to the Y. The Y
is great.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
our neighbor.
That is top tier, state of the art. Like, that's as good as it gets around here, you know? Like, not just around here, but just a Y in general. Like,
fun YMCA like basketball fact. So the basketball courts at the Y here, they're like sunken down below. Basically, if you ever go to, is it Cambridge Fieldhouse where the Pacers play now? They have Pacers, their basketball courts inside Cambridge Fieldhouse. They took those designs basically. It's the exact same designs as what they use at Cambridge at the Kokomo Y. How it's like down low, it's like underground. Yeah, it's the same design there. Yeah.
But like I said, the city's been very welcoming. I've been meeting people. I met the owner, I met his wife, everything. Like, everybody's been so engaging to make sure that they meet me and say hi. So I make sure to do the same thing back and speak and be a nice person. I'm intense on the court. Like, I'm intense. Might talk a little off the court. I'm the nicest person, man. Approachable.